Welcome y'all back to Whiplash TV. Today we're going to do some more work on the 2018 Chevy Suburban Premier 4x4. And today I'm really excited to change some of the looks and the stance of this vehicle because we're going to lift that front end and make room for some larger tires. So in this video we're going to do a 2-inch front level lift. As many of y'all know, 4x4 or 2-wheel drive, these come with a higher sitting rear end than the front end. The front end is down a good 2 inches and needs to be lifted in order for it to ride even level. And of course on the back end you have air shocks in the back, so it's always going to keep the back end level whether you got a load on it or not, or a bunch of people in there or not. So it's not like it's going to sag anyways. So we're going to go ahead and lift it up. The plan is to make room for 33-inch tires, which this lift will do. And I'm going to take y'all step by step of what it takes to lift this front end. This Suburban also has the Magnaride, the electronic suspension. So I got a kit that is going to raise the Magnaride sensor, and I'll take y'all through doing that as well. So let's start by taking some measurements of the front wheel well down to the ground and the back one and see where we're starting. Alright, so we're going to take some before measurements and I'm going to do it right here in my garage to try to get as level of a spot as I possibly can. So let's see what this looks like. We're sitting barely above 35.5 inches on the driver front corner. We are sitting at 35.75 inches on the front passenger corner. And in the back, we're sitting at 38 inches on the back passenger side. We're sitting at almost 37.5 on the back driver side. So when you add it all up, we're sitting right around 2 to 2.25 inches down in the front versus the back end. So like I was saying, a 2-inch front lift will put this at basically dead even is what I'm expecting. So now we're going to take a look at the kit that I got. Y'all, a bunch of these different kits are just going to be made by probably somebody overseas or something, because there's not something, you know, very proprietary about making a block that goes under a strut and just some hardware. One thing to keep in mind is that the block itself does not have to be 2 inches to give us 2 inches of lift. So this block is right around 1 1/8 inches tall. So we have 2 of these that we're going to install under both front struts. And then we have our hardware that is going to go through the struts and through these blocks. And this is the hardware that's going to be used to move our Magnaride suspension sensor up. And that's all there is to the kit. I will put a link in the video description to this kit so that you can easily click on it and purchase it for your ride. This kit right here will do the 2015 to 2020 Chevy Suburbans with the Magnaride, and it will also do the Tahoes that have Magnaride, and also the Yukons and Yukon XL Denali's, anything with the Magnaride through those year models. And even if you don't have Magnaride, then you just would not use this bracket and you'll just install these. Alright, let's go start on the Suburban. Here is one more thing I wanted to look at and thought that I would show you. This is a 22 by 9.5 wheel. It does have a little bit more offset than the factory wheels, but it's nothing crazy. And this is just a 285/45/22. And I'll show you on factory ride height. You can see we've got, I don't know, maybe 1 inch in here. There's not a lot of room in here. So definitely a 33 would definitely need some clearing at this point in time. And if we look at the other side towards the front of the tire, there's a bit more room. But I thought it might be good to just kind of look at that and show y'all the before and after of how much more room we get for a bigger and wider tire. When jacking up your vehicle, you need to have some supports underneath some spot on the frame of the vehicle, or like I did on the transmission cross member. You have to keep your jack free, so that way when you need to support or do things with the suspension, your vehicle is solid and you have a free jack to put underneath there to help line things up. Alright y'all, once you get your tires and wheels off, the first thing that we're going to have to deal with is this Magnaride sensor right here. Right here where it's screwed into this bracket, we're going to take it off with a 10mm. So we just want to take that and we just want to move it out of the way so it doesn't get hit while we're messing with the other suspension components. In the kit, it will come with a bolt, 2 washers, and a lock nut. Now this bolt is the exact same threads as this factory piece here. So this bolt will go right into this threaded portion in this factory spot. We're going to take our bracket and our bolt. We're going to put it just like this. And we're going to install it right here. This bolt is also a 10mm. And later on, after we install our spacer down below the strut, this will get installed right in here. So it'll move this positioning up so everything will work just like it should with the Magnaride. Now that we've loosened up and disconnected that Magnaride sensor, the next thing that we're going to do is go down here to our strut and we're going to take our strut loose. Because what we're going to need to see is how much room do we need to make to get that spacer in. So let's start by getting that loose. So most of the time you have a 15mm bolt from the bottom, but I have a 14mm bolt and a 15mm nut on mine. And once I got my strut unbolted, I did not get any movement whatsoever downward until I pushed down on my suspension by hand. That made the strut kick out a little bit. One of the main things that's holding us up now is going to be the sway bar. We're going to loosen up our sway bar to give us a little bit more movement. It's a 15mm bolt on the bottom and a 15mm wrench up top. So go ahead and fully disconnect your sway bar. Pay attention to how it all went together. Alright, the next thing we're going to do to help loosen up this suspension and make some room is we're going to loosen up this 18mm on the upper ball joint. So on your upper ball joint here, if you start turning this nut and it starts spinning, the easiest way to try to get some pressure on it to hold it, because it's hard to get a Allen in there, grab it with a pair of channel locks like this and then start loosening. Just like that. Now be ready, because when you let go of the channel locks, your suspension's going to drop. Just like that. So now our suspension will move a whole lot and our axle is relaxed kind of out of the way this way. We're now going to take off this 21mm and get this tie rod end link off of the spindle. If yours starts spinning like mine did, then you'll have to hold this bottom while you take it off. Most of the time you'll have to break that joint apart, but mine was already loose apparently. So now our block will go in here, and then we've got to get this pushed back and line these bolts up. There's that one. And that one. And that right there is what you gotta do to get your lift block in. So now that we've got the spacer in there, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it down. It's a 14 millimeter on this one, top and bottom. Now that that's tight, we're going to put back in our upper ball joint. And the easiest way to do this is going to be to put your jack under the suspension and bring it up. You also can line up your front tie rod too and work on getting that in there as well at the same time as your upper ball joint. There we go. So with it jacked up and pressed down, you can work your nut on. Then we'll have to do the same kind of thing to tighten it. Have to clamp down on this with that pair of channel locks and then tighten it on down. Then we can put our 21 millimeter nut back on our tie rod end link and we'll tighten this back down. So everything's coming along real nice. Upper ball joint back in and tight. Front tie rod end link back in and tight. Of course our strut with the spacer is all tight. So now that that's done, I can let the pressure off of this side with the jack. I'll do the same thing to the other side. Then I'll wrap it up with the sway bar end link and then we'll attach the Magnaride sensor back. Now we will reinstall our sway bar end link. So now that everything else is put back together, we will gently put back on our Magnaride sensor. And there you go. Now the Magnaride sensor is right back in a similar spot, but just a little bit taller. Also, don't forget, whenever you're doing a job like this, you're going to get grease and junk on your brake rotor. So be sure to spray a little brake and parts cleaner on it and clean it off. Now is also a great time to check your grease in your tie rod end links and add a little bit extra if it needs more. Other than that, we're ready to put back on our wheels and tires and see how much we've lifted this thing. Alright, so now I've just kind of moved it around a little bit. I'm about to get an alignment in the morning, but I thought that I would go ahead and take some measurements before the alignment just to see where we're sitting. So now we're sitting just over 38 inches, about 38 1/8 on the driver front. Driver rear 37 1/2. So we're about a 1/2 inch up right now in the front compared to the rear. We're at about 38 and almost 1/4 on the front passenger side. And we're at almost 38 inches on the back passenger side. So overall, we're sitting up in the front by just a hair. It's not a whole lot. It's barely a 1/2 inch, if that. So now I'm going to take it to the alignment shop in the morning, and I'm already working on picking out a set of 33-inch tires. All right, y'all, I've got the brand new 33-inch tires on here, and I'm so excited to show y'all the results. So right here's a little look back. Don't forget where we came from, a stock height vehicle, from that to this. We're now sitting up in the front. We've got the 33s on. This thing looks like a completely different vehicle. I am so in love with how this thing turned out. Right now, with where the Suburban's setting, my driveway does go slightly uphill, so any optical illusion of the front end being higher is only from that. Because remember, when we put the tape measure on it, we were only like ½ an inch off. So it's sitting pretty much level here, and we're going to go around and look at the other side. Now let's look at how this passenger side looks. That looks so good, doesn't it? Y'all be sure to put a like on the video and drop me a comment. Let me know what you think of these wheels and tires and the lift. Let me know what you think of this transformation. Like I said, I'm in love with it. Man, I drive this vehicle everywhere and every day. So for this fitment, I wasn't really wanting a ton of tire and wheel poke out. I wanted it just a little bit to stick out, just to kind of let you know it's there. But hey, being a black vehicle, you already know how hard it is to keep black clean if you've ever had a black vehicle. And the more that these tires and wheels stick out from the fender well, the dirtier that black vehicle is going to stay. Y'all, here's one more thing that I want to touch on. If you are buying tires for your Suburban, light truck, Tahoe, Yukon, if you are buying the 10 or 12 ply tires, you, my friend, are doing it wrong. Do not buy those heavy tires for your SUV or lightweight pickup truck. The tires that I picked out are the Nitto Recon Grappler ATs, and these are a 305/42/22. They're going to be the equivalent to a 33-inch tall and about 12 to 12.5-inch wide tire. Y'all, if you buy a 305/45/22 light truck tire, this tire weight is only going to be around 43 pounds per tire. If you buy a 10 ply in the 33/12.5/22, you're going to add over 20 pounds a tire. That's over 80 pounds extra of rolling mass. It's going to slow you down, it's going to suck down gas mileage, and it's going to take longer to brake and stop. It overall is not going to perform near as good. It also is going to make your ride quality much worse because the extra plies are going to have that tire stiffer. So you're going to feel every bump in the road. So make sure that you put on a light truck tire on your light truck. All right, y'all, this is about as long as I can keep this black vehicle clean with this pollen here in East Texas. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video. I hope that y'all thoroughly enjoyed it. And please, again, show the video some love. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and ring that notifications bell. That way you get notified every time that I post a new video. Y'all be blessed, and I'll catch you on the next video.